Alright, so we're back for part 2 of this rebuild. And off camera, we've already got this frame repaired. So this mounting tab right here, this hole is all stretched out. We can see that the hole's been restored, nice and round, got everything painted there. So that tab is done, ready to go. One thing I don't think I showed in the last video was just how bad this brake line is. I think just from driving on and that wheel being destroyed, that thing got bent, and mostly just the outer jacket was destroyed. In this area here, it's definitely collapsed. So it didn't leak or anything. We didn't lose any brake fluid. We still had brakes, but it's pretty bad. It's got to go. It's got to get replaced. So I didn't take it apart last time because I didn't want to do that until I was ready to put everything back together. So that's the first place we're going to start today. I already topped off the master cylinder brake fluid reservoir to get a little extra fluid in there because I'm definitely going to lose some in this process. So the hardest part, we're going to have to reach way down in there to undo that nut in there, because unfortunately this comes as a full assembly. Both the passenger and driver's side brake line comes all together as one. I'll show you that. So this new brake line here, Kawasaki part number right there. As you can see, it's a full assembly. It goes to both sides of the vehicle and just tees off in the middle there where it connects to the hard brake line. So got to get in there, get that. First I'm going to clean a little dirt off of that so I don't get any dirt into the brake system. So I'll spray that, maybe a little brake cleaner and a brush, clean that up, and then get that loosened up and try to swap this out as quickly as possible without losing too much brake fluid. Definitely don't want to let that master cylinder run dry. If I'm losing too much brake fluid in this process, I'll have to stop and top that off and make sure we don't run that dry and then end up with problems in the master. Best case, you end up just having to bleed that. Worst case, you know, if you hit that brake pedal without fluid in there, sometimes you can damage the seals in it. So we don't want to do that. Alright, so I managed to get the new brake line in and the brake system closed up, and still got some brake fluid left in there. Didn't quite hit that minimum line, so that was good. I'll have to add some more brake fluid in there, just top that off, and we'll be good to go. Alright, so next up is the moment of truth. I got this brand new factory lower control arm here. Already got the bushings pressed in here. I just gotta lube the sleeves and put the metal sleeves inside of there. So for these metal sleeves, I'm just using some silicone brake caliper grease to lube those up. Just a little safer with plastics and rubber. Sometimes some plastics or rubbers don't like petroleum grease very well. That grease can actually cause those to break down. So use a little bit of this silicone based grease, and that should just slide in fairly easily. So I got the bushings and sleeves in there. Actually, before I install this on the machine, I'm going to get this lower wall joint installed as well. Okay, so moment of truth. see if this A-arm, the control arm fits on there. I had to do use a slide hammer and obviously welding and grinding and everything to fix this tab here and kind of straighten this one out a little bit too. So I haven't tried this before. Don't know if it's gonna fit. Let's see what happens. Oh, like a glove. That's awesome. Perfect. All right, I gotta get the hardware ready, get this installed. All right, so while we're in here, we're gonna be installing this Super ATV frame stiffener kit to add a little more strength and stiffness to these mounting tabs. Now, this is up on our website. I'll put a link in the description below. And as always with all Super ATV products on our site, coupon code will automatically be applied in your shopping cart, so make sure you go to your shopping cart and check your final price there. This is going to be a little tricky here with our front mounted hitch and our winch mounted here as well. Yeah, looks like I'm gonna have to remove the front mounted hitch first. Now this front mounted hitch is a custom piece I made a while back. Let me know if this is something you'd like to see up on the website. So anytime I have the ball joints removed from the machine, I like to take that opportunity to add some fresh grease inside the boots there. So this needle greaser works awesome. I'm just using a pick to pull back the boot a little bit and using this needle greaser to add some fresh grease in there and push out some of the old gray grease that you can see is obviously water contaminated. Check the description below for a link to this needle greaser. It works great to add grease without damaging the boot for ball joints that don't have a grease fitting. Okay, since I've been getting a lot of questions about how the wheel bearing greaser works, I'll just show you real quick here. First, you just slide the bearing greaser in all the way. Put your grease gun on, give it a few squirts. Alright, so the Teryx is finally back together. Long day of wrenching. I'm exhausted. Starving, need to get something to eat, but it's done. We got a ride scheduled for next weekend, so today was kind of like my last day to get this all back together, and it's there. It's ready to ride. A few little things to touch up. For example, to give you some frame of reference of what it is that we hit, or the size of the rock that we hit. Let's see if I can show you. Right under here is the dent that it left in the bumper, so that's about an inch or so above the front tire. So pretty much just slammed into a wall. We had no idea it was there underneath the water. So it actually pushed in this bumper a little bit. You can see how much slack there is in this branch deflector here. So it's kind of next on the list. Got to pull this out. I'm gonna try maybe hooking up the winch with a snatch block to the truck and attach the end of the winch line here. Maybe try to pull that out a little bit. It doesn't need much. See if I can get that close to where it was. But yeah, besides that, it's looking pretty good. Brand new A-arm on the bottom. Did have to do a little bit of extra work on the top mounting flange there. I had to do a little bit of slide hammer work there. It was a little bent and was giving me a hard time getting that bolt in there and lined up, but not too big a deal. A slide hammer, a little sledgehammer to straighten things out, and now it's all set. And as you can see, got the Super ATV frame stiffeners on the front, as well as in the back. So that should help stiffen everything up, and we're good to go. I got the brakes all bled out and everything. Let those gravity bleed for a while, and then I had somebody help pump and bleed those out too. So you know, gotta give it rough alignment. It's not too bad right now. It's pretty close, but I'm gonna have to run some strings and check the alignment, get a little bit closer. And still sitting a little tall right now. The suspension hasn't settled. I just dropped it off the jack. I gotta drive it around a little bit, let the suspension settle, then do an alignment. But that's it. We're ready to ride. Thanks. Don't forget to subscribe and like this video. Bye, guys.
I don't have any steering.
What do you mean you don't have any steering?